You deserve nothing. Remember, man, that thou art dust, and unto dust thou shalt return. Genesis 3:19. I'm sure you've heard this quote before. It's telling us that at the end of the day, we will leave this world without wealth, without possessions, not even a claim over our own physical body, for one day it will rot, decay, and crumble to dust. On that fun note, where does that leave us, the living? Don't we feel that we deserve things as people? We work hard for something, we tried our hardest, we deserve something, a medal, that bonus, some sort of compensation for our effort. If we worked hard for it, we should get something in return. And then what's the biggest upset of all? When after we tried our hardest, after we thought that we wanted it the most, we don't get it. This also happens on a different level through comparison. I'm a better person than him, so I deserve to have what he has. Oh, he's not a nice guy. I deserve to be with that girl. Oh, she's so mean. Why does she have so many friends? I deserve to have that many friends. Someone doesn't deserve what they have. I deserve it. And then you talk to someone about this usually, and they'll tell you, oh, well, you should go out and you should earn what they have. So if you want the motorcycle he has, you got to go out and you got to earn enough money to be able to afford it. When we earn something, one of the Oxford definitions for the word earn is gain deservedly in return for one's behavior or achievements. And the example that they give is, through the years, she has earned affection and esteem. But here's the thing. Now let's take two people and compare what each of them has earned. One person has a motorcycle and has money in the bank, we'll call it. Some undisclosed large sum of money. While the other person wants that motorcycle, but at the same time, they have friends, family, time to work with other people. Sometimes you'll have a grass is greener situation going on. Oh, he wants his materialistic possessions and he wants his friends and family relationships. But the thing is that the person on the left has spent time investing in those things, and the person on the right has spent time investing in those things. So each of those guys has dedicated time towards what each of them have. The thing is that earlier on, and of course this depends based on status, wealth, but let's say these two guys are in the same place. If the first guy spent all his time getting money, getting a motorcycle, having money, and the other guy, he always felt that he should prioritize friends and family over materialistic possessions, they each have earned that route. They each have done things to put them in a place that when they are then given the choice of whether to spend time with friends or to spend time on themselves earning money, they have repeatedly made those decisions to end up in those places. Now, on the grander scale of things, sometimes people start out with more, start out with less. It's not what we're talking about. Everyone has earned something. Whether it be positive or negative, use the idea of absolute value for a moment. The choices that you have made and the time that you dedicate is time that is spent in the direction of a choice. There's this quote that says, behind every no is a yes to what you really want. So what each of those people have earned is not something that, as you can see, they're earning across the board. Each of them have made sacrifices in their own different ways to then ultimately get to this spot. So time that could have been spent learning how to make money, someone might have spent doom scrolling on Instagram because they weren't looking at the options and realizing that those are the two options at hand, that every time they open a social media app, that it's ultimately them deciding this is what I want to spend my time on right now, rather than go through the begrudging process of doing something that will lead me to some sort of delayed gratification of what I really want, such as a motorcycle, things like that. This person can spend time on Instagram instead. At the same time, when someone's at a party, they may say to themselves, oh, it's really hard for me to make friends, so I'm just going to sit in the corner, be on Instagram, doom scroll. Even though they ultimately want friends, they're still being antisocial at the party, and they're cutting themselves off in that choice. At the end of the day, especially as Westerners, especially as people a part of the Western mindsets, we have this idea that if you have enough materials, you have everything, then you will win. You'll be successful. You'll be happy. This goes back to something that I said in a previous video, where if you can't be enough without any of those things, then you will still feel less than when you have those things, because your mind is used to that habit of never having enough. I saw somewhere else, and I wish that I could give credit, but you have to get out of the mindset of needing to have something in order to be someone, and rather being someone who is the kind of person who one day will have the thing that you want. If a prince knows that he's going to be king, he doesn't need to surround himself with riches. He already has riches on the way and knows that they will be there in time. In the meantime, he's preparing to become the king. We're not really doing kings in America these days. So what's another example? Someone wants to be a famous actor in Hollywood, but they have yet to obtain their breakout role. that doesn't mean that they should feel lesser than their friends who have gotten roles. I think there's something in there where the idea of earning something doesn't make sense. No one's earned anything. We've all decided to give each other things through social ideas that we've agreed upon, whether it's money, whether it's because I like you. And I think that the idea of earning something is a gateway to then believing you've deserved it. I'm editing right now, but I wanted to add that there should be this concept where if you don't have it yet, then you obviously have not done what is required in order to earn it. There may be something that you need to do, maybe effort-wise over time, or something you need to obtain that you can then leap to the next thing that you want. But if you don't have it, then you haven't quote-unquote earned it yet. If you have to work 100 hours to get into shape, but the guy with the faster metabolism maybe has to work only 50 hours, then that's him. That's his set of what he has to do to obtain this thing. There's what you have to do and then having it. And you have to do what you have to do, and only through that you'll get to having it. But then once you have it, having it. Doing and having it. So any notion of going out there and thinking, I deserve this, I deserve that, I should have won this, I should have won that. I think the best thing to do, especially since we're humans and we make up things all the time, is to create your own environment, create your own habitat. And also know that you don't have to win over anyone else. I mean, you have to win over yourself. You'll have to be competing against yourself. But if you live based on needing to deserve things and earn things, you're putting yourself up against a scale that you have no control over. If you know that you've been doing better, then why can't that be a moment to realize I'm on the right path? If you think you can push yourself, then you do that. But if you're in an environment, such as a corporate environment, where you're up for a position and they give it to someone else that you feel is less deserving, it's a rabbit hole to start saying to yourself, I deserved it. I earned it. I put in more hours, whatever. That was never in your control in the first place. You could do the best things to put your best foot forward, but at the end of the day, you can only do so much before you start dipping into endless loops in your head. At the end of the day, what you have to do is you have to decide what's important to you, and you have to decide what's important for you to have. What is important to work towards, and what is the importance of having this thing and how it'll make me feel. Obviously, I'm speaking from a very materialistic standpoint, which through debate can obviously whittle things down to you don't need anything, but other people, they do need cars, transportation. I'm just trying to talk about the social status. I'm trying to talk about the comparing of materialistic things in statuses. Ultimately, if we all die at the end, if that's what's really making us human, if the one rule to be a human is to ask the question why and to die, why and die, then define for yourself what's truly important to you. Concentrate on the purest essence of it. Decide this is what I'm going towards. This makes me fulfilled. Compete with yourself. And ultimately, if we all die at the end, define for yourself what's truly important to you, what truly matters to you, what you want in life, what you deem as worthy of your time. Concentrate on the purest essence of it. Trim the fat, trim the things that aren't making you happy. And although you'll inevitably make mistakes as you're trying to get towards this ideal, at the very least, you can die with intention. I think that's it for today. The improvement for today's video is that I tried writing a pre-written list of ideas on my laptop, which is different from a piece of paper. I don't think that I wrote enough. Next time I'm just going to have a better script. All right, that's going to be it for today.